with the critically acclaimed, one of the most revered groups that the music business has ever experienced, Tribe Called Quest. Um, and I have two of the original members with me who I consider to be good friends. You know, one of them had to be. We just collaborated on the first season of Luke Cage with.
It was
You
just
know, it was
like,
nothing.
no big deal.
You
No
know,
big dealy.
was nothing. You know, when Lucy Pearl came out, I was there helping to break the records. That was nothing.
Wow.
Same with Tribe Called Quest from the early days in the 90s. That was nothing. The other one is a good friend of mine who hits me up all the time. And what I appreciate about him most out of, most people in the music industry that you meet, it's a certain thing. Like, we can hit each other all the time, but most people don't. This man checks in. Like, he reaches out like we're everyday buddies that hang out on a basketball court, and he keeps me posted on what's going on in his life. And I was the first person to put his son on TV. Ladies and gentlemen, Consequence. And Ali, Shaheed, Muhammad are here, ladies and gentlemen. Yeah, what's up, fellas?
What up?
What up, man?
The sickest jacket. I'm like,
Oh my gosh, look at this jacket Consequence has
nutty.
on right now,
Nutty,
man.
Nutty.
Oh man, talk about what is that jacket, by the way? Because you hit me up and said, man, we're doing a capsule, a space capsule. Or
Yeah.
What does that mean?
Go ahead.
Ali, go ahead. Y'all haven't figured this part out yet.
Go for it.
Ali, you start. Okay.
All right. So we're putting out our last video called The Space Program. And in doing that, we partnered up with Pharrell Williams' company, Billionaire Boys Club, to do this collaboration because we've always been fans of his and he's been fans of ours. And he has this iconic attachment to spaces if you really follow Pharrell. And so we thought it would be a great way to merge the two musical,
Properties and ideas.
and ideas to come up with the. I hate to say it. It's not like Tribe always has this. That this is it. We're done.
Yeah.
But this is the send off in terms of our body of work.
So this musically though,
Musically.
because Ali and myself, not to interrupt, but Ali and myself oversee the ATCQ apparel line and merchandise. So we have a deal with Sony Thread Shop, and what happened was when the Grammy nominations came out.
Yeah.
I had been talking to Pharrell off and on. For a little bit, I actually had pitched Caden for the Despicable 3 soundtrack, but the song.
You gotta expect Caden is his son.
Right.
Yeah, Caden, my son, he
Yeah.
raps and he will be out later this year. As Sway alluded to, like Sway was the first person to put him on TV and probably like the first celebrity that I let hold him.
Oh, wow. Damn. I'm wowing because he called me a celebrity. I made it.
You are a celebrity. You've been a celebrity. You was a celebrity when me and Kanye was chasing you.
Oh, come on, man.
Before the answer.
Before the answer?
No. Right. I mean, like when we was on the grind, we was on the grind.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying?
yeah, that's real.
So
That's real.
I thought of that when you was talking about Lucy Pearl. I was like, man, I remember when we was over at that studio by the Lincoln Tunnel.
Yep.
And we was just playing records and everything. But back to the that was a sidebar. But back to how this collaboration came about. So when the Grammy Snub had happened, Ali and myself had just finished doing Complex Con. We had a great showing at Complex Con. We were we like literally in the midst of staple brands and just for clarity, how even with the clothing, Ali and myself just like really clicked up like at it's almost a year now. It'll be a year about like April, May.
Yeah.
And we just this is the first thing that he and I like literally like really got to like just us. You know what I'm saying? And obviously we have Cute's blessing and Joey's blessing, and we just like have from like day to day just had like a like notion about what the design should be and with how we should utilize the artwork, because the artwork is at this point is 3 decades and it's very iconic for people, so it's very it has to be done very meticulously.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And we started with merch for our tour that we went. We had like a 7-day festival run that we did over the summer, and then from there, we just took a gamble. You know, he and I was talking, and we was like, "Yo, look, man, if we're gonna make this transition from just like regular tour merch and just like really diversify what we doing with this, and because the thing is like we want to be top tier at everything that we do. Like that's what Tribe's thing is. Like without obviously the sellout or the crossover notion. You know, we want to be able to just like provide substance and provide art. So we jumped. I was doing Complex Con as a panelist, and then from there, I just talked to them. I was like, yo, look, like they want to do, I spoke to them. They want to do a booth, man. It's time to roll the dice.
It's time to roll the dice.
You know what I'm saying?
Step out on faith.
Yeah. We stepped out and literally, we probably shook 30,000 hands. Just to reinforce, like, number one, like when we was there, obviously, we are a elder statesman group in the game, so we up against everybody dripping and trapping and tipping and whatever, you know what I'm saying? But it was just like, leaning and weaning and winking and blinking. You know what I mean? Whatever you doing, nigga. So
that's right. Talk your shit, Con.
Right. But we stood sturdy next to Puma, and it will always be an achievement, I think, for both of us. You know what I'm saying? We stood there, and got to the point where people were just like, "Yo, I just came to the booth because I just want to hear Tribe music." Yeah, and that means a lot. You know what I'm saying? That means a lot for younger generation people to come up and see us. And they know the words to Electric, and they know the words to Can I Kick It? They know the words to the Jam, which is like a album cut. And from there, after the Grammy nominations came out, I mean, just to be honest, we all thought we was going home with a statue. And Q-Tip made his video, his controversial video.
I had Jimmy Jam, because we all kind of were puzzled by that, and I asked Jimmy Jam when he came up here, and it was right after Tip put out that video, and asked him, how did this happen? How does the process work? And I'm going to play it back for you guys. Okay. This is what he said.
There's 5 records in each category.
Okay.
What would you take out to put Tribe in? If you were doing a top 10 list of albums, Tribe is probably in there.
Yeah.
What if they're number 6? So there's 5 other albums in there. There's committees that actually listen to every album. And I got to tell you, when you're sitting in a room and you're listening to all the albums back to back, there's things that pop out that are amazing that you go, man, I didn't know this record was like this.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
The other thing I would say to Tip is that, remember, Tribe was on the Grammys last year.
Yeah.
And there's a lot of people that would be going, well, what are you complaining about? You actually got to perform on the show. Yeah. Which in many ways is just as relevant than getting the actual nomination.
I respect him so much for what he's done for music, but to default to say that the group performed and that should be like your consolation prize, I think is very disrespectful to the art that you put forward.
That's like nigga take a chicken wing. Yeah. First of all, like I'm gonna say what he can't just for the rest of the interview.
Okay.
Just like I'm gonna he's CEO.
Okay.
I'm president who get to do whatever the fuck I want. And I'm gonna be honest with you. Like I respect the OG, you know what I'm saying? But let's put this in perspective. Malik Fife, Dog, Muddy Ranks, Don Juice, Taylor, that was his last effort on earth.
Yeah.
I want you to understand the magnitude of that. Like, it's easy for someone to minimalize something, and I don't take it as I don't like him for saying that, but I'm just saying, like, it's easy to minimalize and categorize, and that's the same reason why Craig Mack is just now getting his roses. You understand? Like what happens so many times with black people is that we come up with notions why we other brothers and sisters shouldn't be celebrated. Ain't no notion for that shit. They fucked up. Ain't no notion for that. Anybody come back 18 years after a hiatus and come back and perform perform the year before, naturally you would assume that, I should have something on my mantle in about 12 months.
Not only that, but put forth, it's come back after 18 years and put forth an album that speaks to and will continue to speak to the test of the time as our music has to this point. Like, you can't go into any party in the world, and a Tribe Called Quest song is not played still 28 years later.
That's
So
facts.
so when you put forth an album that 18 years later will still do the same thing, it's like, who's at the wheel in the present moment?
Right.
And so that's what the frustration is about. And, we can appreciate, Jimmy Jam trying to offer maybe an insider's view, but it's jaded. And that's why,
Right.
me personally, it's so funny because I remember when we were rehearsing for the tour and Tip asked me, he's probably going to be upset and I'm sharing this story, but it's just to put it in context. He said, what do you think about us getting a Grammy? And I looked at him like, I'm shocked to even see those words hear those words come out of your mouth. And I'm looking at him because he doesn't talk about Grammys like that.
That's
and
not
so
why
I'm
he
like,
does it.
Yeah, it's not why he does
Right,
it.
yeah.
And for him to ask me that, I was like, wow, you're serious. You know what? There's a lot that comes with getting that Grammy nod. It's political. So just leave it at that.
Right.
Yeah.
And
He told me right then and there, you're not gonna have a problem with it. I was like, yo, it's just political. He said, well, I'm gonna have a problem with it. And I said, no, actually, he said, I'm gonna have a chip on my shoulder. And I said, well, let me be the first person to buy a placeholder for you to hold that chip on your shoulder, because I know what it is, and we don't,
Y'all don't do that dance.
And
behind the
this
scenes.
is what I'm about to say. Ownership of it, right? Could there have been things that, from a business aspect for the group, that could have been done better in retrieving that?
Yeah.
Yes, absolutely. And forthright honesty, and we having an honest forum. You know what I'm saying? Yes, but in human consideration and in respect of a legacy, should we've been given a little bit of preferential treatment? Absolutely. That's what this game is.
Yeah.
Absolutely, and that's what this game is. You know what I'm saying? So, hey, it is what it is. Here go my Grammy right here. Holla.
That's what that is. But I also think because of what Ali was saying in terms of the legacy and the impact that the group made in knowing that this would be the last effort as far as the culture goes, hip-hop, when it's this category called best whatever albums, it's some intangibles that you can't factor in those metrics or those politics that you're talking
Cut off
about.
at 5 or whatever.
Yeah,
You gotta
that
make the exception.
you kind of got to know, and so I think
They do it all the time.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
I'm just saying, from an insider's perspective, if you look over the history of the Grammys, there are other people who have influences and their artists get pushed forward for whatever reason, and it's not always the merit of the record. The merit of the sound of the record and how it feels, from lyrics, from melodies, from all these things, how it charts and all these other things that go into it. Yeah, but there are people behind the wall that make things happen.
Mm-hmm.
And so that's the frustration of it. And that's why, throughout our career, we have not placed an emphasis on it. It's just about making sure that when we go in the studio, that we're honest with the music, with the people, with ourselves. And I think that stands the test of time. And our Grammy is this 30-year legacy.
The 30-year legacy. I
It
agree.
surpasses that.
And literally, for even how we even got on the subject, like I said, once that happened, because I'd already been talking to Pharrell's camp, I reached out and I said, look, my thing is, like I said, in Complex, like, that was a situation where we had a bag full of lemons from the grocery store. And I was like, yo, this shit about to be country time.
Yeah.
Like, I got on the phone. I got on my phone. I emailed. I was like, yo, after Pharrell sent a tweet out basically expressing how Low End Theory and Midnight Marauders curated his sound for his career. And it's always been a revolving door with him. You know what I'm saying? Like, definitely with me, like when we was doing Beach Rounds of Life, like he was he had did a verse for the joint. Me and him came friends since then. Like, even through me working with Kanye, it's always been friendly. I got, he's always lent. He's in Dispersed videos. He's always been a friend of consequence. And so when I explained to them what I wanted to do, like literally, boop, 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 boop. I put the code in for the safe was 192, and that bitch popped open. And I was next day, next week, I had a meeting with Mimi Cho and the team at BBC, and that's why I said, like, yo, for me, this the Grammys, because I wouldn't have wanted to sit there with no $10,000 suit on and got fronted on.
Yeah. Yeah,
That's
well,
just me personally.
yeah,
like
yeah,
I wouldn't have wanted to got
yeah.
nominated and we'd have sat there and been like in the TV seats or whatever and just been watching niggas go up, watching.
Yeah.
Like today, when I go to BBC, I'm signing anybody who come to the store. Shit, that's how I'm on it.
That's what you're doing. Let's talk. Okay, once again, the Billionaires Boys Club, the brand, and Tribe Called Quest, the space program, have come together, right, and created.
The space program capsule collection, which is available, is 13 pieces. There's this jacket.
The jacket is so sick
on.
right
It really
now. I can't
is.
believe you came empty-handed.
I
man.
I got Ali shit with me, so I'm gonna just show y'all some of this shit on
Okay, and
camera.
then-
that-
okay.
For people
Put
that
on,
like
get some
across the country,
close-ups,
'cause
yeah.
this is sway. It's everywhere. So
Okay.
hold on a second.
And then Ali, so this will be the last
Video.
for a Tribe Called Quest.
Yes.
This is it. Damn, man, I feel like fucking tearing up. But I say this,
Van the white shit.
though, tears of joy though.
Yeah.
That I got to be in the front part of it when the music start circulating around the country and then around the world and being instrumental and actually naturally just playing the music and be way before we all even met.
Yeah.
You know,
Thank you so much.
and I know the brand is not going to discontinue. It's just musically, this will be the last Tribe Called Quest video.
Musically, this will be the last Tribe Called Quest video. You know, Fife is no longer here. And Fife had such an impact as an MC, but, you know, as a dear friend and brother, he's the one who set the whole motion of a Tribe Called Quest. By telling Q-Tip, you know, looking at Run DMC, yo, we could do that.
So he spearheaded it.
He spearheaded.
He put the spark in it.
He did.
Yeah.
You know, and so he's no longer here, and it's still raw to me, you know, and to a lot of lovers of a Tribe Called Quest. So yeah, we bookend it with the space program, and we try to pay a tribute to him and his representation in the video, which comes out this week, right?
Yeah, actually, the trailer drops on our Instagram,
that
and Apple
16?
Music
Today.
Today.
Yeah,
Okay.
so, get like a glimpse of it.
And so what will happen after that is hard to say, you know, where things will go. You know, we all are individual artists as well. And I'm sure that, you know, we'll do our best to move on in that capacity. I know that Fife did record a solo album. And so we're looking to make sure that comes out properly. But as far as Tribe is concerned, it's, you know, like when you lose your brother, it's just
it ain't just,
It's
no
not
it's
the same.
different.
Your
It's
brother.
different.
Yeah.
Shit, man. I'm just I'm just glad I got to get these moments in when everybody was here.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And pay respect and tribute and praise while everybody was here.
Yeah, thank you so much.
Absolutely,
you guys have
man.
always supported us, and
Yeah.
you know
No doubt.
we've seen each other through the years, and that's really what it's about. You know,
Yeah.
Like Consequence was saying about even Craig Mack, may he rest in peace. There's so many important voices, important Black American voices that have helped push culture, that have helped push education and legislation forward, and they don't get acknowledged. And I'm just talking about from, you know, the artist world.
Yeah.
Yeah.
People forget really fast, and we know that that's the nature of the business, and we know that that's the game we all sign up for. So there's no make no excuse for that. But you know, like definitely like with Craig Mack, man, I just, you know, it's like these are like, but they're unsung heroes. Like even with Fife, man, I mean, like his drive for this last album was you know, like a combination of things, like you know he gave so much. Like, you know, like he has so many special moments, you know, and I think, you know, when you're in his position and, you know, you've gone through the things that he was going through, like he had a rough time with diabetes.
Yeah.
And his drive and his will was just like, he was in a new space because obviously he's been married for a little bit now. He you know, changed locations for Deisha. Shout out to Deisha and Dave. And you know, I feel like his drive was just to show that he was a warrior, and to show he was an artist. You know what I'm saying? And you know, whatever, you know, I think about this the whole week. I said, you know, to become a winner, you have to fail. You have to experience failure. You have to experience losing so that you can really understand the rigors that it takes to be a winner in this society. And Phife was a winner. He went out as a winner.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, there's not too many people who can say that they were on dialysis and delivered and went bar for bar with Kendrick Lamar.
Yeah.
On Conrad Tokyo. Like, you know, like these are the little nuances and details that if you're a real hip hop fan, you gotta look at these things and you gotta study these things. Like for everybody, definitely for the four of us that are on this side of the Mason Dixon, we had a, you know, and it just is just lessons. So I'm not like specifying this as far as age, but it's just like when we all came in to music, there was just a certain amount of college that you had to have. Like they beat me. You understand me?
Yeah.
They beat me, like mentally beat me into mastery.
Yeah.
You understand? Like, no, you cannot rhyme over 16 bars. No, you cannot use the same cadence. No, you have to look at this and understand before you do Video Music Box, you better be ready. And you know that these are the lessons that you carry for the rest of your life in the pursuit of excellence.
Yeah. In the pursuit of excellence.
And I'm just saying
well said, man.
And I'm just saying, like, I you know, look, I have a 6-year-old, and it's, you know, things rotate, man. You know what I'm saying? So I think we're getting to a time.
Yeah.
We're getting to a time where, you know, even like young people are re-embracing that mantra of just, yo, I want my shit to be different. I want it to be dope. We had that time where everybody was using a Xerox machine. Yeah. And I think people are like getting back to individual expression in anything that you do. Like, you want to be the best at this point. Like, you know, we already know we got the fuck shit in society to deal with. So now it's just like, and we went through this shit in the 80s.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Where it was just like, you know, just like, you know, all right, that shit fucked up. Let me channel my energy and tunnel vision it towards excellence. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? And, you know, that's what I said, like, when you think, like, man, when you think about Craig Mack is so special to me, and I've never gotten to say it just because of circumstances, but, like, Q-Tip, the first time he brought me on stage, I was 17, and he was at the Beacon. We went to the Beacon Theater for him to do the Get Down remix. Yeah. And he brought me out on stage, and I was doing my dance and shit, and the shit was like a fucking movie. It's always been a movie in my brain. You know what I'm saying? Because it was just like, it was the epitome of what this art, when it's embraced, it was just like, yo, it was so ill. It was just ill. It's just the best word is just ill. And I know ill is not drip, but it was just it was just, it's not sauce. It's not wavy. Right, it's not wavy. But it's just it got in place. Listen, anybody, you know, like, hey, look, the jacket drip. Look, right? But just some shit is just ill. And it's just like, yo, I just remember that shit, and it's just like, you know, I saw Craig Mack walking down Sufton Boulevard, like, maybe 1990, and I just walking, I was just like, oh, shit. Yeah. You know, it's just ill because, you know, this game is based on valleys and peaks, and it's just, you know, I just, you know, just shout out, rest in peace to Craig Mack. Thank you. Rest in peace to Phife. Rest in peace to those, and salute to those who, even though they may not have a voice that's loud, that's yodeling on social media, but we all know what they did. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. We all know what they might not got 9 million followers, but they got a classic. Yeah. And you know that they shot a syringe of inspiration into your arm. Like, for real.
Damn, well put, man. Yeah. Man, Consequence, thank you, brother. Ali Shaheed Muhammad, thank you. I love you dudes, man. Love you guys. Thank you for coming up here and sharing your thoughts with us. If people want to get the Billionaires Boys Club, Tribe Called Quest, the space program capsule line, where can they go? Are y'all doing any events out here today? Or
we're going to the store
right now?
In a little bit.
In a little bit?
We're gonna chop it up. I ain't seen my bro in a minute. We
Okay,
gotta
okay.
chop it, but we gonna be like, yo, just 4:00, 4:30. Make your way down there. I know it's snowing and all that, but like I said, it's gonna be worth.
Oh, these are sick. The t-shirts.
I'm going in consequence
I'm mad
bag.
at Cons right now.
Bro,
You didn't bring the jacket. You didn't bring the jacket.
That's actually not my bag. It is.
That's a bag?
Okay.
Okay. Hey guys, thank you, man. Anytime you want to come up here talk about what's going on, you're more than welcome.
Yeah,
Matter of fact, man, y'all could come and just take over the show one day. Have Tribe Called Quest ready. I know y'all do that in other places. You can do that here too, man.
Please,
Get over.
know.
I'll step aside. I'll be your guest. Let me know when you want to do it. All right.
Please.
All right.
That'd be a pleasure.